So this want to be goes on, and at the end of the day, we never see the team benefit. And it's one of the reasons why doctors as professionals are being divided by external groups. So the HMOs are dividing us, the banks are dividing us, and all that. So we never take a unified stand that benefits the majority. That's just it. Whereas amongst the lawyers, it's different. You can see that there is a more cohesive orientation, and that's because the way they are trained to cover their backsides. Pardon my French. That is how they work. But doctors, we are also self-centered, so it doesn't help. So you need to learn about leadership and team building. You need to learn that the fact that you're a leader, you're number one servant or you're number one slave, not that you're the one to lord it over. Those are skills that you need to learn and polish up. So then we move to identifying and evaluating business ideas. It's a critical step in the entrepreneurial journey. By considering some points I'm going to take, a comprehensive evaluation, we can actually identify the potential of business idea and increase the likelihood of success and minimizing risks. It's very important for us to be open and honest to feedback and think over on the idea and adapt adapt as needed throughout the process. So now, there are key things. One, you need to identify the opportunity you're looking at. Okay. Then market research. Market research, you need to understand the target markets, customer needs, existing competition, industry trends, identify gaps, unmet needs, untapped opportunities that your business idea can address. That will be the research you need to do. Then the feasibility assessment. So you now assess the feasibility of the business by considering factors as the market demand and scalability, right? You've been able to do under research to identify the customer. So now you can now put, okay, what is the true market demand? And then the scalability, and then what are the available resources for me to carry out this project? So the technical requirements, the regulatory demands or the regulatory environment, potential profitability, and evaluate whether the idea is viable and sustainable. A little experience. Before you talk about companies like this payment platform, current payments, we're all crazy about Paystack. Vogue Pay Cash Envoy were the first to be involved in that. I was on the Vogue Pay project team. It was one of my first early ideas. Now, we had a problem at that time. There was no regulation whatsoever and all that. But we went ahead and we were the pioneers that developed that system that CBN now uses for all these people, which is quite interesting. They've not changed. It's still the same document that I worked on years ago, about 2 years after medical school. Then we had problems of investment, which we got our hands burnt. But then I say every time you fail in business, what you lost financially is the school fees for you to learn so that you succeed in future. Now, yes, Vogue Pay eventually lost the market to Paystack and what's the name of this other one that everybody likes talking about? But why was that? It was simple. We did not understand the rudimentaries of investor systems in fintech. We just knew about the technicality, the coding aspect and all that. So we had a bunch of funny investors who insisted that they wanted control of certain parts of the company. At that time, it was all good. They are bringing in money. Everybody seemed to be earning a good take-home pay at that time. But the reality is that they were using it to wash, in quote, money for certain parties. That's all I can tell you. The rest is locked up under legal. I'm legal bound not to say anything. Why I'm using this is that you need to understand what you're getting yourself into and prepare yourself. So The market research and the feasibility analysis will help you do that. If you do it well, nobody can come and tell you funny stories. Then unique value proposition. What is so unique that your business is providing that others are not providing? That has to be there. If you score on a scale of 1 to 10, you're able to score up to 5 on unique value proposition in comparison to other competitors, top competitors that are scoring 1 or 2. There is a high probability that that business is going to be successful. That one has already been said in business school. So imagine if you're able to get a business that gives a unique value proposition of up to 10 points compared to other possible competitors. Then target customer validation. You have to test your theory. So you look at groups within your target customer and test the business idea with them. At times, you might have to even do prototyping if it's a small product and all that. So you do a prototype in the package and everything, and let those people score. So if you act on a statistically based, if you do a test and you have about 100 people that were randomly picked, people that, preferably people that you don't know, because people who you will know will most likely lie to you, trying to be nice. So they test them and all that. And people actually give valid opinions. Look, I really don't like this product because of 1, 2, 3. When you do an analysis and you think, you will see that if you now have a target customer validation that gets up to about 70%, you're most likely on the very likely on the right track. If you get about 40%, it means your idea is valid. There are some things that are either not good with the primary product, or the communication itself of the product might be the problem. Then competitive advantage. You need to be able to identify your competitive advantage and how your business idea differentiates itself from competitors. Okay, that's different from unique value proposition, so that you understand, right? And this advantage can be through principally pricing, quality, innovation, customer service, or any other factors that are unique to that particular business area. At the same time, you need to have understood your competitors' strengths and weaknesses, especially so that you can position your own business idea ahead. Financial viability, which is the bottom line of doing business. You're not doing business because you have to look at what are the revenue streams in that business, the cost structure, and then the profit margin. I'll give you an example. An anatomic pathology lab, I can easily give you that because I own one. You have your revenue streams: histology, cytology, immunohistochemistry, right? Those are the 3 most common things. But then there are other revenue streams that people don't think about. Things like autopsy, things like human remains identification, things like human remains repatriation. Those are things that still fall under anatomical pathology, though it's more mortuary service inclined, but then it's still part of the business. So a business with multiple streams, or that's multiple product or service than just one product, has a higher chance of success. Because at one time, this product is not selling, the other one is selling. Because also sales can be seasonal. SWOT analysis, I'm sure you've heard about that. Be able to perform a SWOT analysis, strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats, so that it helps you identify weaknesses and opportunities, especially that weaknesses, opportunities, and threats that would affect your business. Skills and resources. One, I always tell people, remove yourself as a worker in the business. So, okay, what are the skills and in terms of skills and human resources I need to hire? That way is better, because it's easy for you to now sit down and work on maintaining the business system, rather than, okay, because I know how to draw, I'm the only one who will be drawing in the business, then other people will be doing on it. You can't work like that. You will get burnt out. Then you must have personal passion and commitment to what you are doing. If you don't believe in it, don't even start it. I tell people that every day. So we need to now identify funding options and resources that are available for startups. Bootstrapping, angel investors, venture capital, government grants and programs, incubators and accelerators, and crowdfunding. Bank loans and financial institutions, impact investors, social enterprise funds, innovation hubs, co-working spaces, and then international grants and competitions. International grants and competitions, I'll start with that. There are more than 1 million grants. You need to do your homework. Go online, search, you will see. But the thing there about those ones is that those ones have specific what you call specific criteria that you must follow. So if your business is aligned with that criteria, good. If it is not, don't stress yourself. Innovation hubs and co-working spaces. It's something that is new coming in Nigeria, where you have a place where you have access to business support services. So you register your company with them, you make a periodic payment monthly or annually. So you can actually use their spaces and resources for meetings and all that. In more advanced countries like Scandinavian countries and all that, the innovation hubs, like for example, if you're into manufacturing, let's say manufacturing products, physical products, like let's say plastic goods or whatever, you actually have access to prototyping machines and all. So you don't need to pay so much to have those machines. You can just pay for the material that is going to be used for your prototype and all that. And then there are people there to do all those work to support your business and all that. Bank loans and financial institutions, those are the traditional people we normally go to. But in Nigeria, it's unfortunate that the interest rates are very, very high. So that limits us. Crowdfunding, very, very interesting, and it's actually going on in Nigeria, though albeit illegally. And the reason is simple. CBN put some very tight restrictions on crowdfunding that doesn't make it look lucrative in Nigeria. But there are some ways that it is going on, being funded. Businesses are being funded by a crowdfunding-like process that is still within the ambience of the law of the Federation of Nigeria. Government grants and programs. Interestingly, government has started. Recently, there was one that was just concluded by Bank of Industry. So they sponsored that program. So people with ideas, they pitch and all that, and then they select the ideas that look most viable and sponsor them to a particular amount. Venture capital, now I'm very, very used to that, and I've gotten burnt with that on 2 occasions out of 10 now. You have people who are venture capitalists that all they're interested in is new businesses, but you need to be careful. You need to be able to read the fine print and understand. And when you don't understand, you ask questions, because they tie in clauses that virtually eat up your business. A good living example is what happened to what they call this Health Plus. They are one of my clients in real estate facilities. I have some facilities that they pay long-term lease. Health Plus started as a very good business, very viable and all that. But there was a venture capital firm that they partnered up with. Now, the idea was, they will give us money to allow us the rapid expansion. But you see, what they made a mistake was that they didn't look into the risk and the clauses that were attached to, okay, if you don't meet X performance level by this time, this will happen. So those clauses were now initiated, and before you knew it, Health Plus was completely taken over. So the person that came up with the idea and all that lost everything. It was devastating for her and all that. People said, but she made money and all that. You see, for someone who created the idea, it can be very, very shattering to see what you have built to a level that is still functional, just that the economic environment might not be helped to be completely taken over. That happens a lot, and it's very, very common in venture capital industries that are going on in Nigeria. It's just that the press doesn't pick it up because we are not understanding. People are quiet and hush-hush about it. Angel investors, yeah. There is what we call Lagos Angel Investors Network and then African Business Angel Investors Forum. These are ventures platforms that connect startups with potential angel investors. It's good, but you need to, your principal angel investor needs to be aligned with your objectives and what you want to do. Only disadvantage is that the angel investor, a lot of time, people take the mentality, after all, I'm paying you the money. This is what you now have to do, which is wrong because it puts you as the entrepreneur in a lot of ethical positions that you might like, I don't agree with this ethically. So then there becomes a conflict. And then that issue of who is paying for the piper to take the tune comes up. And then bootstrapping, that's the age-old way of getting things done. That is all your money, you sell your property and all that, and you start. That I have done that, and it has helped me in the two major things that I've invested in my life. I'm now going on the third. So we now move over to tapping consumer needs and wants, consumerism. I'm sure all of you know Maslow's hierarchy of needs. You must have done it in psychiatry, the sub-courses in psychology you must have done. Once you are able to understand needs and motivations of consumers as an entrepreneur, using Maslow's theory, you can better understand how to drive their behavior and tailor your product and service to meet those needs effectively. Mainly psychological needs, safety needs, love and belongingness, esteem needs, and self-actualization. Psychological needs, anything, or physiological needs, anything that involves in feeding, eating, dietary needs, down to issues pertaining to sex. Those are primary level needs. Safety needs, now the essence of feeling safe in an environment. So companies like security monitoring systems and all that can benefit and capitalize on that. Love and belongingness, everybody wants to be loved. Your marketing system, when it's more personalized and more individualized, the person sees, oh, truly, oh, the head of marketing is contacting me. There's a way it works on the chemicals in the brain. You will see that your clients become more passionate about your organization and all that. Esteem needs, when your business needs to hype the client, you are blowing up people's self-esteem. Sorry, it seems as if I'm teaching you people bad things, but that's the reality of business. Those are the tools that you use. Then self-actualization. Now, there are some businesses, by virtue of what they do, it involves fulfilling the client's achieving the client's potential, personal growth and all that. You will see that industries that deal more with human capacity development and education can tap into that. Once you have a product that clearly shows that it will promote the self-actualization of that client, you have a client hooked for life. It's like you're giving the person an addictive drug. All these things, one way or the other, affect dopamine. And you know dopamine is the one that is involved in addiction. I hope I'm correct. Any feedback so far? Lastly, building a solid business plan. I'm not going to give a lecture on this or talk about this. I believe that you must have done it in your entrepreneurship courses. So now, what I'm going to do now is part 4, industry sector by sector review. For the sake of not making things too boring and complex, I'm going to take agriculture, I'm going to take healthcare, and I'm going to take IT services. There are other industries I've written about. So let's start with agriculture. So things we'll look at are the significance of agriculture in Nigeria, is the potential and the value chain development, entrepreneurship opportunities in farming, processing, and distribution, and then government support and policies. Then we'll look at the information technology and e-commerce markets and that. So in agriculture, how I'm going to start. So let's look at the significance of agriculture. We know obviously it will generate employment, food security, economic diversification, and then rural development. Those things are clear. They are not rocket science. Now, what are the potentials? Crop production, livestock and fisheries, processing and value chain addition, storage, supply chain, and logistics. Supply chain and logistics. Do you know that a truck that is bringing, say, yam from Benue State, by the time it gets to Lagos, the cost of that yam goes up by 350%. And the reason is simple. All the police checkpoints on the road, you have to settle them. They don't want to know. So if as an entrepreneur, a group of you get together and see that, look, we have a partnership that is in the aviation industry, and we can actually lift from the what do you call it, the airstrip in Makurdi and arrive at Lagos. And we have a cargo aircraft that can take up to 50 trucks. Don't you think you are going to be in business? Compared to 50 people who are just moving their load on the road. So you can see how we've manipulated the value chain as an example to now become a business that is potential. Processing, again, the volume of fruits that are lost from the, what do you call it, former Gongola State, Adamawa, Taraba State, Benue State triangle, because that's where the food basket of the country and where majority of the fruits that we see in Lagos that are destroyed. They say it is exactly about 4/6, that's 4/6 of the total production is what is destroyed and left to rot, because we have no way of preserving, we have no way of processing, and we have no way of shipping these things down to the major consumer markets, which are still Lagos, Port Harcourt, and Kano, the largest consumer markets. So those are just basic opportunities. We did not discuss about opportunities in terms of agricultural livestock or agricultural support systems, in terms of farming technology systems, access to farming technology systems for farmers, access to veterinary services for livestock breeding. We've not discussed about that. This same problem we see is a problem when the cost of a cow, breeding a cow and getting a cow in the market in Kano compared to here in Lagos is disastrous. It's too expensive. And why is that? Transportation has been the problem. So you can all see that now we've already seen opportunities alone in the agricultural sector. So the opportunities, like I said, are endless. And there are also other areas that you can look at: infrastructural development within the agri sector, and then research and development. That's an area that people don't look at potential. Okay, so because there are not so much, majority of the documented research that goes on in Nigeria in terms of agriculture, interestingly, it has been more of IITA and university-based research, which are there lying down, and the conclusions are clear. Nobody has gone to make it to pick out this research and say, okay, how do I make it commercialize that research? So put the research into action. And these papers are available online. There are some in some free sites. Then government support and policies. We know that that is a major problem. But if we continue looking that government should be the one to solve our problem, we will not progress. So that summarizes that on agriculture, information technology, and e-commerce market. Now that's the area I like, because that's where I have a lot of coins invested in. Sector overview. The IT sector in Nigeria comprises software development, IT services, telecommunications, and digital technology, and then the related industries. And the growth it has seen over the years is I don't know what to say, if there's anything higher than exponential. The e-commerce market especially was even made more interesting with the advent of COVID. All of us realized that you don't need to go to somewhere to buy something. You can sit down and actually buy it online, especially if there are items that are not perishable goods that you need to check whether it's fresh or not. Even now, people are now even buying perishable goods online. So the role of information technology in economic growth, obviously we know, job creation, increased productivity, access to markets. What IT does is that it scales it such that, okay, if the market was only, for example, in Ikeja, and you physically needed to go to Ikeja to buy something. Now, but with IT, you can be in Kano, you can even be in London, and you can buy that thing in Ikeja, and then arrange logistics from your purchase point to your delivery point without being there physically. That is what IT does, and it's a very beautiful thing. So the opportunities in information technology and e-commerce, software development, there's a growing demand for software applications. There is nothing you cannot use software through. If you want a software self to lie, you can actually develop that. You want it to lie to people about something. That's the funny thing. There's nothing that you cannot convert into an equation model and then apply the principles of software development and come up with a software product. So there's a constant demand. So e-commerce platforms, why I'm promoting this is that these are the technology sector is one that low entry requirement is low because, okay, you might not need so much investment to start up, but its yield can be very, very, very high based on my life's personal experience. There are some things that we started from my kitchen table with my partners and became something that was global and allowed me to get money to invest in other sectors, real estate and the rest. So the opportunities there in IT, endless. Then digital marketing and social media entrepreneurship. That's an area that is evolving, where you now use social media platforms as a means to market and pull or funnel patients through a business system. So the service export and international market access, that Nigeria has already started. All our fintech solutions that are the top fintech solutions from Nigeria, you now see that they are all over the West African markets. The fintech solutions that some banks are using for the what do you call it, the West African market, that's what they are using, and it is producing solutions and results. So that's a quick summary of the information technology sector. I'm going to take healthcare industries. We are home. So with healthcare, now we all know that's our area. It plays a critical role in the well-being of population. Areas, the overview, healthcare infrastructure, we know that it's a mixture of public and private facilities. We know that private are in the majority, obviously. From hospitals to specialized centers, clinics, and primary care centers, there's still a need for further investment in healthcare. That one has already been established. You don't even need to go back, go and look at that. Now, the health services from primary, specialized care, diagnostic services, pharmaceuticals, preventive health cares, the growing focus of improving healthcare delivery and expanding coverage has become something that we have all accepted. Yes, our health insurance now that it has become National Health Insurance Authority, we hope that we move from 5% to at least 35%, because Ghana that we used to laugh at and call as, quote, common Ghana is already reaching 62% penetration, and we were still at 5%, the giant of Africa. Now, the areas that are easy to get in, public health challenges, principally infectious diseases, maternal and child health, and then some key non-communicable diseases. I'm sure you see hypertension, diabetes, plus or minus cancer. Why I say plus or minus cancer? Cancer is expensive. It's an expensive area to get in because you need actually a lot of financial investment, especially if you're looking at the diagnostic and therapeutic component of the, let me use the word, the operational chain, not value chain in this case. Now, other opportunities in healthcare, we look at medical tourism. Did you know that a lot of patients come from West African countries to come and access LASUT and LUT? These patients are appalled by quality of services. Some of them are good financial standing that they're even ready to pay a lot of private hospitals to access that service in Nigeria. So in our own backyard, we have opportunity. Healthcare technology and information technology is another area that is limitless. Now, almost every hospital now has realized that, look, I have to have an EMR because it's easier to monitor inflow and expenditure and also monitor stock. I would tell you from experience as young doctors, the majority of scams and fraud that are going on in the hospitals that you will work in are not even organized by doctors. It is going on there in your stores, in between the people who are pharmacy technicians and some nurses and some admin people, because simply we don't understand, doctors don't understand the basics of inventory management. I learned that the hard way. It was what was going on in my dad's facility. So by the time you implement IT, you spoil the nonsense, and then everybody becomes accountable. Like I say, IT brings about accountability, and accountability is a bastard. It actually exposes everything. So information technology, that is a very critical area in healthcare, which you can actually have low entry and you can have high yield. Pharmaceutical manufacturing, the problem that you have with manufacturing, it is heavy financial demand. But if you have strategic partnerships with external pharmaceutical partners who can provide specific drugs, but our regulation is very, very stiff that favors the pharmaceutical industry only to a particular professional group. But then we're all young and smart people. If you have pharmacist that is partnering with you in that business, I'm sure that you can arrive at a compromise and actually succeed. So healthcare services export and international market access. Nigerian health doctors and specialists have valuable expertise that can be exported to other countries. This is something that I think the government has made a mistake. Everybody shouting the doctors are going. I think our leaders are not smart about it. I would have called all these doctors, you know what, I'll arrange you guys to go anywhere you want to go to, but we will be the ones to broker. Those countries you are going to should be the ones who should pay Nigeria for your services. Why? Because the country was the one that trained all of us. And when they pay, such money should not be involved in investment in the healthcare system that our kids are leaving behind, so that our own country too does not lose out completely by the loss of young doctors and health professionals that are moving outside. So this, we now get to conclusion. I'm sure a lot of people are tired that this old man has spoken a lot. Now, what are the things we need? Encouragement. Embrace a growth mindset, tap into the potential, seek mentorship and guidance. Like I am now, I have 3 major people that I classify as my mentors. They are people in the industry. Nobody knows them. It's a silent thing. Occasionally, I seek for, like, can I have an hour with you? I go to their places or offices and sit down 1 hour and talk on issues that I'm having in business, so I can tap into that resource and all that. And it's also a way of, like, sort of validating this idea I'm having. Is it good? These mentors are people that you can trust. They won't steal your ideas. They will guide you, like, this thing you are pushing here, why don't you consider this? Why don't you think of this? I don't think this is comfortable. This is a good book. See, it's very good when you have that. It helps you. It also helps you grow. Leverage and technology and innovation. That one is obvious. If you still want to be in the Stone Age with biro and paper, well, I'm sure you will become a dinosaur. Build a strong network. That's the problem a lot of doctors have. The way our training is, we only know a circle of doctors. I can count how many of you have circle of people who are accountants, who are in completely different fields. You need to learn how to build that network. And I think it's something they should start teaching us earlier in medical school, so that we don't have a tunnel vision focus of life. So next thing is, start small and then validate your ideas before you go big. Work on a model. Actually try a functional model if you can. Then properly and honestly access funding and support. I underline honestly and ethics. Very, very important in business. One of the reasons why I can say I've had that limited success is that people will tell you that if Mario tells you A is A. I won't hide it from you. If the business is not selling, I'll tell my partners, we are not making sales. We are having problem here and here. I don't hide. I don't cook books. You understand? Once people know that you are someone who is grounded towards that angle, there's no time for story. It's easier for you to address the issue. Another thing is embrace collaboration and partnerships. In this modern world, you can't do it all alone. So you need people who are like-minded that you can trust. I know trust is a major problem we have, especially in our generation, because everybody is trying to scam the other person. But there are still people of integrity that you can do business with. Foster a personal culture of resilience and perseverance, and then stay informed with continuous learning. You will learn till you die. So forget that thing of I have finished my master's, that is it. If you take out, and I still do it, at least every day, I must do a minimum of 1 hour, 30 minutes of reading. Anything that is not medicine, that is my own policy. And then I do 1 hour of medical reading on the subjects that I'm interested in. Why? You remain current. And it's also a way of wiring your brain for continuous learning. And there's something that I will tell you. It's a philosophy that if you run an organization that is built on continuous learning, the tendencies for growth and expansion in that organization is rapid. Once you put in that culture that, oh, people must continuously learn. Learning is a fundamental tool that is used in your pathway towards success. So what do we have to say? In conclusion, Nigeria is a land of immense and untapped potential waiting to be fully explored by young aspiring entrepreneurs. As we have discussed, the opportunities are abundant across various sectors. To succeed as an entrepreneur, it's crucial to seize these local opportunities and convert your ideas to reality. So embrace a growth mindset, leverage on technology and innovation, and tap into the power of collaboration and mentorship. Stay informed, continuously learn, build a strong network of support. Remember, entrepreneurship is a journey that requires resilience, perseverance, and a willingness to learn from failure. If you use statistics, okay, so if I did 100 tries, and out of 100, I failed in 20 at different time intervals, but all the other 80 were successful. So it means you are successful at the end of the day. But the problem with some of us is that we do the first try failure, the second try failure, the third try failure, we're like, I'm packing out and jetting out, it can't work for me. You've already given up. It doesn't work like that. And there are people with a lot of very brilliant ideas that could have worked, but that resilience was not there. So embrace the challenges as opportunities for growth. Let your passion and dedication drive you forward. So by seizing local opportunities, we have the power to make significant impact on our economy, create job opportunities for our people, and contribute to the overall development of our country. So together, let us continuously unlock this untapped potential of Nigeria and pave the way for a vibrant, prosperous future. So the time is now and the opportunities are waiting. So my dear doctors, get out there, dream big, and make your mark as young, aspiring medipreneurs, not entrepreneurs in Nigeria. So the world is waiting for our ideas and impact. Thank you for your time and attention. Any questions?
Yes, I have a question. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. You can put on your camera. Let us see you. But I'm sure I will not be able to see you again.
Okay, sir. I don't know if you can see me now.
Yes, we can see you. Dr. Momodu. I can call you Doctor now, Abi. Your name is now written in Bible. All right, what's the question?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, sir, presentation, and you touched a lot on so many areas, and I learned a lot. But, sir, I feel like there's still so much more to learn, which leads me to ask if you could recommend some materials to us for further learning, videos, books, websites, especially in the area of converting ideas to reality. At some point, I got lost because the information was so much. So,
okay.
now, if you could
now this is what I'm going to do for you. I always tell people that when it comes, first of all, disabuse your normal medical mind. That there must be book, there must be tutorial, there must be what do you call it, handout. It can't work like that. You have to be the one to decide what you want to learn. All right. This lecture, I composed this lecture solely based on my own experience and looked at what are the key areas that we need to focus on to encourage people who are interested in following what I did. There's not one single book. There's not one single textbook. There are so many. There are some that even conflict themselves, which you now have to make an informed decision on the matter. But one thing I tell you that your generation has that I did not have when I started. One, you have access to the internet. You can actually sit down and search on books on entrepreneurship. Go on YouTube. There are more than enough videos that will train you on different things. Okay. There's even a joke that if the matter is very, very complex, look for an Indian visual. There's always one Indian guy who will give you a video that will help you out with that. All right. So there's no hard and fast one-way solution of list of books, recommended websites. It can't work that way. You have to go through that research experience yourself too. Okay. Any other questions?
Thank you, sir.
Good morning,
yes,
sir.
I have one. Okay.
Oh,
Dr. Lisa Thomas.
Oh, okay. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, doctor.
Let's see if I can put on my video.
Yes, we need to see you. Thank you. You're already in the clinic. No, these people are serious.
Oh my God. I'm so sorry. Thank you so much for the wonderful explanation and teaching so far. Honestly, I have learned a ton of things and I've got clarity on some things too. I would like to ask or point out, because in the course of your teaching, you mentioned that you've done you have a number of master's degrees, certifications, diplomas, and you also mentioned that, yes, we shouldn't, place our focus majorly on that. But as a person who is quite ambitious career-wise and also interested in entrepreneurship largely, I want to ask, how did you balance all of this? Because I know that it is actually really tasking to run a successful business in Nigeria, not to mention multiple businesses, and equally have a wonderful career path going on. So how exactly did you try to, achieve those strides without shortchanging one for one? And considering that in the actual sense of in actualizing all of this, it is on a stretch of years, like it takes a lot of time. And yay, I'm a female medical doctor. I'm a Muslim female medical doctor. So there are several things to also factor into all of this.
I understand. I saw where you are going.
Yes, so I need to
all right now
grasp
see,
my mind around it.
Now
Thank you, sir.
for me, first of all, I've always been a stubborn child. So I never followed convention. In fact, up to now, I still wonder how I became a doctor, because I was in the Defense Academy before I left to come and read medicine in Olabisi Onabanjo University. That was one of God's greatest miracles. My mother would tell you, my late mom would tell you that said they expected this one to become a general and probably die in a battlefront somewhere. Now, I see that maybe that is the part where I will say is divine intervention and all that. You need to be true to yourself. That's the first thing. I got into medicine. Personally, for me, I love the learning process of medicine. That is the study of medicine, the research process. I hate the idea of sitting down in clinic and talking to patients. To me, it's boring and it's a waste of time for me. No disrespect to our colleagues that are doing a wonderful job. For me, I don't like it. So I naturally was inclined into laboratory medicine. You understand? So I actually did start a residency in pathology before I decided my stubborn nature, I got myself involved in other things. And I said that if I sit down and focus on this residency and spend 6 years, I will waste 6 years of my life. That's the way I saw it. It doesn't mean that it is right, and it doesn't mean that what others are doing are wrong. You need to be sure about yourself or what you want in life. In the process of that, for me, I looked at, you know what, I'm more interested in the business process of medicine than actually the day-to-day practice of medicine. So that is in terms of healthcare management, health systems development, healthcare planning. So I now saw that, you know what, I'm going to do certifications and courses in these things because they are all this, and it's the same process you do in healthcare plan that you do in any other business. The processes are the same, it's just the terminologies that actually change. Okay. And then there are some technical principles that will change. So that helped me move faster a lot. Then each business I got involved in, I at least take out 2 to 3 months and do thorough reading and analysis, experiences of people and all that. So the online world helped a lot. Now, I know that for the female gender in our environment, it is tough because of balancing family life and trying to balance a career. But I said, you need to decide for yourself. And that also determines the kind of spouse you marry. Because I know some female doctors that are into some serious business that when you see their husbands, you now understand why they can do that. You see the husbands that are supportive, who are open-minded towards her, going on business meetings abroad and all that. So there are a lot of things. It's not a one answer thing. I really understand your concern because the reality of our environment, but I'll also tell you, it also determines the kind of man you're going to marry. If you're going to marry a man that is going to be thinking in an archaic manner that his wife must be seated in the house and preparing food morning, afternoon, and night, I'm sorry, I'll be realistic with you. It's going to affect a lot of things. But at the same time, some people are resourceful. They're sitting there in the house. It's opportunity for them to run business from the house. There are women like that who are still entrepreneurs, even from their home. So they are running things all over. People are running around for them. So it boils down to you again. What do you want? I hope I've been able to answer your question.
Well, thank you so much, sir. Yes, to a very large extent. And I want to use this medium to express my interest in receiving quality mentorship from you, sir.
Somebody is looking for mentorship. You go pay.
So if there is a way to reach out to you, because I believe that through this journey, I would need a lot of guidance, a lot of putting through and things like that.
I don't have a problem. I have about 6 people that are mentoring on my own. Okay. What we do is that we have a written agreement. If you have a problem, you send me a message on WhatsApp.
Okay.
If I don't reply, don't bug me. It's because I'm busy. I always go back and read, and I try to take out time, even if it is 30 minutes, right? Okay. There's one of them, she's a lady, she's heading, she's what they call the clinical manager in charge of Checker, is one of the aggregators for laboratory services and all that. She's doing a wonderful job. We have at least 1 month, we spend about 2 hours together. You understand? So we'll have to work out something. I don't have a problem.
All right. Thank you so much, sir. I will definitely reach out to you.
No problem.
Thank you, sir.
Any other questions? Please, are there any other questions?
Dr. Mamadou, Antonia, you wanted to say something. Unmute yourself.
Yes, ma. Hello, ma.
Sir, talk to Dr. Adelaja.
I've asked my question, ma.
Oh, you have asked your question. Oh,
yes, ma.
Okay, so, okay. Any other person? Simon, head of class.
Yes, ma'am. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm fine, ma'am.
You don't have questions to ask on behalf of the class? Well, Dr. Delaja is here.
Simon is now the head of alumni. He's no longer head of
Opeyemi
class.
Olani.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Any other question?
I would like to go into laboratory medicine, and then you stopped at the point. So I want to ask, if someone wants to go straight into this pathway of medical entrepreneurship, is there like a pathway and say like, okay, this courses to take, and then from there you just something
Okay.
like that?
Now, but if you don't have any exposure to business whatsoever, what I would advise? Okay, what area of business will you be looking at? Let's take, for example, you're interested in entrepreneurship. Are you going to be interested in production of a product or a service? Or are you just interested in sort of creating a business and making money? Those are two determinants that I advise people on. Okay, I'm interested in the creation of a product or a service. I would say so. It means that you are more interested in the project development process. Get a certification in project management. But if you are interested in the issue of creating a business and making money and having other people do the running around for me, I mean, it's fair enough. I'll say you'll be more inclined into having an MBA. So like me, up to now, I don't have my MBA because I've sat there, I've read the entire MBA curriculum and I've seen there's nothing so spectacular in it, because half of the MBA curriculum, I've already done it in public health. So what is the noise? You understand? And I did my own public health in a business school environment, so which was even better. So I got the best of both worlds. And that's because of my interest in healthcare, and I still have about 6 other healthcare projects that I'm interested in investing in or partnering with people. I said, whether I like it or not, I need to go through the public health process because there are some things I need to grab that I can only get in school. You can't learn that in life and you cannot read that up. So those are 2 variables I say you look at and decide. Now, if you want to be a clinician, and your point has you've always wanted to be in clinic and all that, just be quiet and go and do your residency first and finish it up on time before you start any other thing. Because it's very, very difficult to, the moment life starts getting in the way, for you to go back and start reading. Your focus will not be on excellence. Your focus will not be, let me just pass, finish, and go. So that's what I would advise you now at this stage. I hope that has been helpful.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. No other questions. Everybody happy? Pardon? Some are shy. I guess we don't have any further questions. Okay, Dr. John, over to you, ma'am.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Dr. Lokpade.
Okay, so I wanted to ask that
Put on the camera. Let us see the Dr. Lokpade now. It's not easy to become a doctor, is it? Okay,
Okay,
you're somewhere where you can put on your camera. Go ahead and answer.
Yeah. Okay, so I wanted to ask if one is interested in clinical medicine, as well as you know that you would not enjoy doing clinical medicine for like a very long time on the long run. And you know that the pathway for clinical medicine is doing a residency, yeah. And you feel like, oh, I might get bored along the way. I just want to delve into something else. And the something else you want to delve into, you probably need a master's because you only have your MBBS. So because you know that that's what can allow you to choose another pathway. But I now want to ask if you think it's better to like get a master's before doing the residency, because going back to school after residency might be very difficult, or just doing the residency. And if you actually think that maybe you eventually think that you can maybe do the master's later. I don't know, like it's been something that's been bugging me like a
Now,
while now.
I'm going to use an analogy. Permit me to use a personal experience because I've seen something that is common with a lot of us. When I was a medical student, I had a senior colleague who was a registrar. We were going for his wedding in Ibadan. My duty as one of his groomsmen, I was in my 5th year, was I was the one in charge of logistics transportation. So I got all the vehicles. So about 6 of us, the last batch of people, the key people were to go in a chartered vehicle. I've gotten all the others. They had moved a day earlier to Ibadan. And then somebody was there handing hotels and everything. So I went to the park and I asked the driver, see, I'm going to this place in Ibadan. The driver said, there's no problem. It's my usual route. The only thing is that I will divert here, there, and I need to avoid traffic at this point, because there's some road construction that he doesn't know who is doing it, whether it's the local government or shark causing problem. I said, no problem. You are the captain of the ship. Now, the 6 people who are going to me, I was only bloody medical student. The rest, there were 2 consultants and then the remaining senior residents, senior registrars, as the only medical student in that vehicle. So you know how it is, especially in an environment where it's strict on hierarchy. God bless you that you make a sound. So I brought the vehicle to the assembly point and all that. Okay, so driver. So one of them now asked the biggest of the guys, so how are we getting to Ibadan? The driver said, the consultant said, no, we must go like this, go like this, go like this. Mario, why didn't you? I said, sir, he said this is the best way. He knows the way, and he gave reason. No, I am telling you, I did residency in Ibadan, and this, that. In fact, it became argument. The other one said, yes, we agree. No, sir, this, that. Who am I to talk? I said, sorry, please, no vex. You know me, I know no book like all of them. I'm a very simple. Now, you see, I kicked back into my basic recruit training as soldier in Nigerian Army. They will tell you when you know, Oga, I don't know, now you sabi abi, but this one, now what did they tell me? I will advise we follow that one. No, I said, sir, I don't know much about the route. In fact, I don't even know where Ibadan is. I lie. But this man has been driving this route. He said, let's go like, no, see big argument. In fact, textbook thesis was getting ready based on how to move from Shagamu to Ibadan. I kept quiet. I said, we go learn this lesson by force. We now got through the way where the biggest of your guys forced the idea on the rest of us. We were in traffic for 4 hours. The driver was just humming. Then all of a sudden, he switched off the engine and hit the steering wheel. He said, Alakowe is the problem of this country. I have been driving this route for more than 10 years. I go to Ibadan 3 times a day on very busy days, and at least twice or once a day on the other days. But and I said, let's go like no day. See, now look at where we are. We were there for the 4 hours. Thank God that the big guy who was insisting was sitting behind me. I just looked at him, say, Shoto, say you are satisfied. Why I'm bringing this analogy? There is this wrong notion that certificates are a fundamental to learning and progress. false. I'm not saying that education is not important, don't get me wrong. You can learn through other means. The certificates are just a way of the entire world acknowledging that you went through a structured process of learning that entitles you to that certificate or title that comes thereafter. Does not mean that you are 100% proficient, doesn't mean you know everything about it. Okay? So when I now hear things like, I think I'll be tired in this area in clinical sciences, why are you going there in the first place? That's why I always say, know yourself. Me, up till now, I still love shooting. You give me opportunity, if the army calls old boys like me that we should go and face Boko Haram, we are ready. You just give me weapon, point me to the direction, okay, that's where the bagger is, we need to clear them, we clear them. That's my orientation. And in medicine, I don't argue too much. I was a very, very good student, distinction student in surgery, yes, and all that. But I like all this one of sitting there in clinic, are you coughing, are you kidding? It looks bored and boring to me. I get completely irritated. And then in clinic where you have to see more than 120 patients, I said, look, I can't do all this. To me, this is madness. And it means you can't work in government. I am not interested in working in government. That was me from the beginning, but I know myself. Okay, you need to know yourself and you need to decide. I need to decide early so that you don't waste your time jumping up and down. Am I going to do? Am I not going to do? If you know you are not clinically interested, let me give you an example, but you're interested in things like biochemistry. You're interested in things like cuisine. You want to open a restaurant. I can tell you, pick an MSc in nutrition, human nutrition, or clinical nutrition, because it is still the same thing. You're just going to apply knowledge. And you will discover that, oh, I can develop a nutritional product that will help, for example, cancer patients or diabetic patients based on my knowledge of medicine and all. So you see, the knowledge is not lost. But at the same time, de-emphasize this thing of it is the certificate that determines what to do, not necessarily. I will now further and ask a question. Who invented the plane? They said the Wright brothers. Did he have a certificate in aeronautic engineering? No. The person that invented the submarine, did he have certificate in naval engineering? No. They were pioneers. So it's up to you. You can do anything that is legal and is positive under this sun because our creator gave you the brain. The certificate is just an added tool. That's my own view. I don't employ people based on, say, you bring all the certificate and quality, there's a 20-question questionnaire that I give you. The moment you score 15, you're out. Because you see, all those who have certificates, there's a way their line of thought goes. And I'm able to pick them. So those ones, their emphasis is, oh, they want to score the highest. But those who are very realistic and grounded, the way they answer are different. And I pick those ones. And those ones have shown to be the solid performance in the job compared to what I call the quote, the akaways. People who have pali and want to show that they have pali. Then you have those who have pali that look very good, they don't know anything. That's another area of discourse. All right? I hope I've been able to help you now.
Yes, sir.
All right. Any further questions?
Sir, I want to ask another question. Because I checked online on how to get knowledge on some things concerning business and entrepreneurship, and I stumbled across these Coursera courses. I don't know if how relevant that is. I don't know if it's something that is going to be relevant, or, for example, start going through some of the courses. I don't know if it is going to be relevant in those courses. Go through those courses and then.
Now, let me give you, if you go to a course that talks about basic financial management for business owners, that's a very relevant course now. You understand? That's a very, very relevant cost. So you need to look at the cost. Hmm? So look at the cost, look at what are the objectives of the course, and then you can take it. That's why I said the resources are available. They are limitless resources, uncountable resources that can help support you and improve your knowledge in subject matter at hand. So I think it's okay. I've done one of their courses, one of their quick courses on supply chain management. When I was having a problem in a particular project in terms of, I knew that procurement scams were going on because the number of medical consumables that were being taken in that business was too much compared to the number of patients. I did a rough calculation. It came down to that they were spending close to 10 cannulas per patient. I said, it's not possible now. They were trying to tell me that, the patient can be on admission for long. I said, even if the patient is on admission for long, do you use one cannula per day? You understand? So it raised some. So I did that one on supply chain because I wanted, okay, I'm going to construct a supply chain management process that will nail you guys badly. At the end of the day, I was able to construct a system that was nasty. You couldn't beat it. It will track every single thing to every single patient. There was no loss. Problem started now. They started fighting. We cannot input it into, you will input it. God bless you not to input it now. You will leave. So it's important. They are important. There's nothing wrong with it. The only thing is that in our own environment in Nigeria, they don't recognize it because it's not a certificate from, what they call it, it's not a certificate from an institution with good standing. That's the English, the grammar. Okay. Any other question, please?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome, ma'am. I guess everybody is okay. Dr. John, over to you.
Yes, Dr. Adelaja, so beautiful, the talk and the exposure. I myself learned a lot, I'm so happy. Well, I won't recap because really, I think you covered a lot. And from what the students have asked, I know that they really followed you right from where you exposed Nigeria's potential and showing us the gold mine of opportunities we have and all that, and pointing out, areas that have not been touched, renewable energy, agriculture, and many other things. So I think they can go back. We have a recording actually of the lectures, so they can take their time and go back over all these things and reflect and make their own decisions. So thank you so much, Dr. Adelaja. I hope you will always come and teach our students when we have these courses, at least once a year for the outgoing students, because they're launching into life and they really need that kind of guidance, which we have not been giving them before. So thank you so much. And God bless you and your business. Well, class.
Thank you very much.
Okay, class, tomorrow is earlier, it's not 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock on site at the auditorium in New Glass House. We have Dr. Kukori. Kukori, he's a psychologist trained in the US. And I've heard him before. He taught just last month. So you can't miss him, please. 9 o'clock, be there. And then we have the keynote lecturer, Dr. Akonde, rounding off with the ethics lecture. So let's make it a great day, and then your award of your certificates. I hope all of you wrote your name the way you want it on your certificate during your registration. If not, text your correct name to me now within an hour or two, if you made a mistake in writing your name, so that the correct names go in your certificate. And I hope you all uploaded your photographs too, because your photos will be included in the certificate. And if you didn't, send it immediately with your name linked to your photo so that we can send it to the printer. So I hope we have a great day tomorrow, the grand finale. And if Dr. Adelaja can come, I think he's so busy. I think I'm asking too much now. But if you can pop in so that they see
for the
in real
record,
life,
I think from 9 o'clock till about 11, I have some free space. I have a meeting for around 12. So I'll see how I can make it.
Oh,
if it's 9 o'clock,
wonderful.
if I can make it.
Oh,
Luckily,
wonderful. Thank you so much.
Tomorrow is one of my freest Wednesdays in the year. I don't know what happened. Maybe they didn't schedule things for me.
Okay. Divine intervention for us. Okay, so please, young doctors, please be there on time by 8:30 to 9, so that we start promptly at 9 o'clock. Thank you all so much for your interest in entrepreneurship. And I know you're taking responsibility for Nigeria, otherwise you won't be here.
Thank you, Dr. Mario.